everybody, welcome into the Nesson Studios. Michaela Vernava here, and I am joined on the line by John Campbell, our sports analyst for OddsShark.com. John, we're already into week 2 of the NFL season, and I, for one, am hoping that I do a little bit better in my super contest picks this week than I did last week. How about you?
Well, I did okay. I was 4-1 in my super contest pick, so I'm off to a hot start. But you went 2-2-1. That's not too bad. You just don't want to be too bad out of the gate. And believe me, I know I started pretty cold last year. So let's see what we can do for week 2 here.
Yeah, you did really well. And I actually I'm kind of okay with starting on the cooler end of things rather than coming out to a hot start, because I started really hot last season and then I sort of fizzled out. So I'm thinking I'm going to do the opposite this year. I'm going to take it slow and then do better as the weeks go on. That's going to be my theory.
I love it. Pace yourself and finish strong.
Exactly. So let's start with this week, the Patriots taking on the Jaguars, an AFC Championship rematch. What are you thinking? Who should you put your money on for this game?
Well, I think a lot of bettors are going to look to take the Jags in a bit of a revenge spot last year after losing a heartbreaker to the Pats last year in the playoffs. So I think a lot of folks are going to look to go that way. But when you look at the Patriots' road numbers, especially when it comes to betting, I don't know how I can go with the Jags. I just got to go with the Patriots here. We took a look back. Patriots 14-3 against the spread in their last 17 games as road favorites. That's an incredible number by NFL standards. Tom Brady, as a road favorite in his career, also hitting at almost 60%, just under 60% against the spread in his career. That number is amazing for NFL. It's really tough to go into other teams' stadiums, laying points, and to cover those numbers. I just think the Jags are in trouble again here. I got to go with the Pats. I can't bet against TB12.
Okay. Well, elsewhere in the AFC East, we have a division rivalry, if you want to call it that, a division matchup. The Dolphins and the Jets going head-to-head. Now, the Jets, of course, blowing the Lions out of the water on Monday Night Football in Week 1. Who do you like in this game?
Well, I like the Dolphins in this one now, catching more than a field goal, 3.5-point underdogs at the Jets. I just think there's been too much hype on Sam Darnold and the Jets here. And I like what I saw a lot out of the Jets and Darnold. He looked great in his first start after that initial pick 6 right out of the gate. But I just think this line has moved way too much. It opened as a pick, so we're talking about a coin toss in the eyes of odds makers. As soon as this line opened, then all the Jets money came in and pushed them to bigger than field goal favorites. I think that's too much. I think the Dolphins are being a little underestimated here early on in a tough divisional matchup. We'll see how Darnold does. I always kind of think for rookies, it's a little bit tougher in that first home start. I just think there's a little bit more pressure at home than there is on the road. You don't want to disappoint the home fans. I just think this line's too big. I think it should be more like a pick. I'm going to go Dolphins.
What do you think is the safest bet to make this week?
Wow, there's never a safest bet in the NFL, but the one I think I like the most, it would be one that will surprise some people. And I like the Vikings a lot, plus 1.5 at Green Bay. The Vikings are another team, just like Tom Brady on the road. You really don't want to bet against them. And for some reason, they keep getting underestimated on the road. They're now catching points. They're in the underdog role here officially. And they're 8-4 against the spread the last 12 times. Over the last 3 years, they've been road underdogs. They've covered the spread 2/3 of the time over the last 3 years. And for some reason, these guys just keep getting overlooked. Great defense. And I think Kirk Cousins at QB really puts their offense in a great spot. Aaron Rodgers also banged up after last week, hurt his knee against the Bears in that Sunday nighter. So I like the Vikings as a small spread. A lot of people don't like betting against the Pack at home, but I'm going with the Vikes.
Next to the Pats-Jags game, I think that game is the one I'm most looking forward to watching for sure. I'm also looking forward to seeing what the Rams do in Week 2 after a good start in Week 1, but the line is really big. What do you think about that game? They're taking on the Cardinals.
Yeah, this line's moved up quite a bit. A field goal as well. It was at 10, now at 13 for the Rams. I took the Rams as one of my super contest picks last week. A lot of people don't like laying points on the road, but I just didn't overthink it. The Rams might be the best team in football right now. I don't see a way the Cardinals can get within that number. I just think they demolished them here. The offense is incredible. The one thing about the Rams is they don't score quite as much at home as they do on the road. That's a little bit weird, but they scored almost a touchdown more on the road than they did at home last year. So if the Cardinals can kind of grind it down and keep this game a little lower scoring, that might be one way they can cover the spread. But I like the big favorite here. I think the Rams win big.
Okay, John, thanks for the advice. We'll check in with you next week, and good luck with your picks this week.